Good morning, saints, and happy Monday. The verse for today is taken from Matthew chapter 5, verse 6. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Today's verse comes from Jesus' Sermon on the Mount, where he gives us 8 vital teachings known as the Beatitudes. And in his 4th beatitude, Jesus says that persons who hunger and thirst after what is righteous, they are blessed and they will be filled. In this context, blessed refers to a state of spiritual well-being and prosperity. It's a deep feeling of joy in one's soul. And I've said this many times on this platform, but I would say it again. We were created by God for His purpose, to serve Him and to worship Him. And there is a God-shaped hole in our hearts that only God can fill. Unfortunately, we live in a fallen world, and many of us in society have tried to use other things to fill that void in our hearts that only God can fill. Some persons turn to drugs, money, fame, power, even themselves and other human beings. But as we are aware, those things will never work. And that's why we have a society that is diseased, where persons are walking around empty and lacking a sense of self and so depressed because they have other gods, and those gods will never truly satisfy them. So, what does it mean to hunger and thirst for righteousness? The word hunger and thirst suggests a strong and constant desire for God's will, for the things that honor, please, and uplift God. But you may ask, well, how do I desire that? How do I attain an appetite for the things that are righteous? Now, if you think back to when you were a babe in Christ, you might have been doing some things right, but you were still doing worldly things, whether it's listening to music that is not pleasing to God. You may have been gossiping, indulging in activities that isn't pleasing to God while still going to church and praying. But the more you spend time with God, the more you get into His Word, the more you dialogue with Him, your desire for the things of the world, for the vices of the world, diminishes. He displaces unrighteousness, and what takes that place is a desire for things that are holy, things that are righteous and pure. And again, that comes with time and with being intentional about being in God's presence. That is how you desire an appetite for righteousness. And so as you go about your week, and I know many of you are very busy, you're working, you have your family, so many things are on your mind, but do not forget to make time for God, to meditate on His Word, to live out His Word, and find out what are the things that pleases Him and what are the things that displeases Him. And it's through that relationship that you become more and more like Christ, that you long for righteousness, and you would feel that sense of completeness and wholeness that you can only achieve through God. Have a blessed week, everyone. Take care.